So, um, what happened today? Basically, I took a junior warm up for the first time today. This is really the first time I've ever done a warm up for the juniors. So I was a bit kind of antsy about it. But the reality is, it's basically the same as the adult warm up. You just slightly tone down. You don't do quite as much fitness stuff. It's a little more higher energy. So it's not really that different. So I don't know what I'm so worked up about, but I've done it now and it's all good. So I've sorted that. I helped out a bit with the juniors today as well. So I got a bit more experience teaching kids and whatnot. I mean, I'm kind of, I do in the future, I do want to sort of have my own sort of club or something. Maybe if I like move away somewhere, I'll start up my own one or something along those lines. And I know that kids are a really good market from like the business perspective. But I do struggle with the idea of teaching them, because a lot of them are just really rowdy and they're there because their parents want them to do something or a similar reason. They're not there like an adult. An adult goes there because they want to go, and it's that attitude that is really a lot easier and more fun to work with, which is why I much prefer teaching adults. At kids, you'll get like 1 in 100 that's like really enthusiastic about it, and the rest are just kind of, they just want to mess around and do stuff and kind of just talk amongst themselves a bit more and mess about and whatnot. It's just much more mentally draining. And you yourself have to be really upbeat and high energy, so it's very mentally taxing. I think in the long run, I just wouldn't like it. But again, do I still do it anyway because it's really good for the sake of the club and the business, and because you can pull kids in, but you can sort of use that connection to get other members of the family involved. So if you have a ladies kickboxing as well, something like ladies only and kids are like the two, or like the young kids preschool stuff are like the two best markets. So if you can get like the mum to do the ladies only martial arts stuff, or like maybe the dad's interested in doing one of your senior classes or something, you can you can branch out through the family and vice versa. Do it the other way around as well. I've seen it happen quite a few times at the club I go to. So maybe I should just man up and just get myself to do it. And yeah, if I do more stuff with juniors, I'll probably just get used to that. It's just very polar opposite to how I am, really. But so the senior class, a bit quiet today. There's only like one returning member. I guess the others are on holiday or something like that. But then we had someone else who's like a newbie, like a free trial, coming in to check it out. So I got to work with them quite a bit. It's just 2 people. Me and my co-instructor both worked with them, so it's kind of semi one-on-one a lot. That was good. It went fine. Good to get some practice on interacting with and teaching brand new people. Like just seeing all the stuff for the first time, trying to get them warmed up and into it. And got a new member on the latest kickboxing as well, so that's growing. That's getting really big nowadays. We've got about, I think we had 7 girls in, so it's getting much better now. That one is definitely, it is the best one. Yeah, in terms of its success. So today I think what I've learned is kind of more confidence, or like in how to teach the children, the kids, and the fact that they do listen. It's not just in my head that they'll always be rowdy. A lot of the time they do actually pay attention to what you're trying to say. You just have to, it's quite awkward. You got to be sort of an authority figure, be authoritative, or whatever, but without being rude and annoying, still got to be quite upbeat and fun and enjoyable. So it's a tricky mix to get right, but I'm more confident in how it works now. So yeah. So I said I'd read Tao of Jeet Kune Do while I was on holiday. I did read a little bit, admittedly not that much, but I've got started on it now. Just on the first little section, which is kind of more on the personal psychology, or like personal philosophy, how you view things and whatnot. It's just random notes and scribbles and whatnot, but I like it. I'm really eager to get through all of it and see what's in there, see what kind of stuff and how I might interpret it, how I might take that information and use it. But I thought with this video, and like maybe going forward with these vlogs and whatnot, I thought I'd sort of just talk about something a little bit offbeat, because I mean I think my main sort of motivation for making these is to just like to document my own progress, sort of see, so I can look back and see how far I've come, and to also potentially help other people out that are going through the same process, maybe. So it could give them some insight. But I thought I'd also try and give some other stuff through there. So I'm going to try and give some productivity advice today by mentioning how useful one of these are. Cool Kid Diary. I've had a diary now I've like been writing in diaries for like the past 2 years. And it's not just like a school kid thing that you do, but it's how you use it. It's not just writing random crap that happens in your life. There may be one random person will look through when you die. It's about how to use it to keep track of what you're doing, and how to stay focused on what you want, how to become a more goal-oriented person. So you're more focused on the things that you want, rather than just randomly, just living your life doing whatever, and being sort of unfocused, and just sort of drifting about, not really making much of yourself. So it's about how. So I'll give an example. I've just done a template page bit for tomorrow, and this is how I use it personally, just to give you an idea. So if you can see here, I've got these lines here, and then I've got this. This is like the goal focus part of it. So the 5 lines here are just marking out. Every morning when I go up and I write my first entry, I will write down 5 goals that I have that are kind of most important to me and on my mind the most. And this really helps you to keep them in your head and stay focused on them, and not let yourself drift onto other things. Keep them fresh in your head. I usually do just repeat the same ones over every day until I reach them, and then I'll replace it with a new one. So you're constantly replacing goals with new ones once you've met them as well, so you're keeping that momentum going. So yeah, I just have 5. I'll usually put them in order of which ones are most important to me as well. And then this like number 1 in the brackets is where I'll put what I think is the most important task I need to do on this particular day to move forward and get closer to completing one of these goals or something like that. So it's literally like my number 1 most important thing I need to do today, and I should always be able to tick that off. It's a bad day if I can't tick that off, pretty much. So that is always the first thing that I could do when I get up. Do this. I'll write down what my 5 goals are and what the most important thing I need to do in the coming day is. Underneath personal, I like to record what dreams I have, if any, if I remember any, just because I'm kind of trying to look into how the dream state can potentially give you more ideas in a creative sense if you're trying to do creative stuff. And the concept of lucid dreaming is quite interesting, although it's obviously, for people who can't innately do it, it's probably going to be quite difficult to do it. But if I could do it and use it to help me with my training and practice, it's a bit of a fantasy idea at the moment, but I know that recording your dreams and improving your dream recall is a good place to start in that, so that's why I'm doing that. And personally, I usually I've got let's just look at this one. I'll write down any random fitness stuff that I've done in the day as well. If I've done my morning routine, I write it down. If I haven't done it for whatever reason, then I won't have it there. But if I've gone to jiu-jitsu training or gone to the gym or whatever, I'll write that. I don't go into specifics because I've just not got enough space. I have thought about getting like a smaller one specifically to record the fitness stuff in detail and stuff. I don't know about that yet. And then you just got regular entries. The way I do it is I just have a timestamp written there, and then I'll write whatever random stuff. It's mostly just not particularly interesting. I'm not the type that just writes full-on essays about my day, you know. But that's essentially how I like to use it. I think it's helped me out quite a lot. You know, all these things that I've done recently in the past year or so has definitely been largely helped by this, because it just helps you to keep track of it. It helps you to keep it in your head, keep yourself focused on it, and just to remember that that's what you want to do, and to help you to break it down into what the next steps are, what's the most important thing you need to do to be able to get closer to reaching that goal. So yeah, for the most part, that is, in a summary, why I think a diary is a really good idea to help you be more productive and just get more out of your life, I suppose. So I think that's it for today. Guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye.